Welcome. My name is Tracy Cook, and this is the podcast series Victim to Victory. This series gives a voice to those that have overcome obstacles in all forms, that dare greatly to share their real stories. Amazing humans like our upcoming guest that have seen hope and risen above those adversities to become victorious, that now go on to support, empower, and inspire others to do the same. Please subscribe and comment to the Victim to Victory series on Apple, Spotify, and our YouTube channel. Today, we are giving a voice to Einav Avni. Welcome to Victim to Victory. How are you?
Hi, Tracy. Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here with you.
It is an absolute pleasure. Now, I'm just going to let our audience know a little bit about how wonderful you are and all the plates that you juggle. And you're a confidence and empowerment coach. You're helping people identify the negative self-talk and the limiting beliefs that are holding them back from creating the life that they want to live. How important is that, especially coming off the end of 2020? Now, in your coaching, your methods and techniques from the world of NLP, neuro-linguistics programming, the body and emotion code, I love hearing about this, neuroscience and Buddhism, fantastic, and allowing her to connect with her clients and audience on a really, really deep level to profound transformations. I'm excited already to hear more. Thank you very much for joining us. And where does your story start?
Right. Yes. I guess with similar stories, it definitely starts with a challenge. Growing up, I was very much, the shy kid, the one with very low self-esteem, low confidence, really low self-love, and always needing others' approvals and for them to tell me, yes, I can do it, and also maybe even suggest what I should do in the first place. And I was going through life in this way, for a very long time, but always feeling I was on the outside of any group that I was on. I had wisdom, so the people who did actually take the time or bother to get to know me, they really appreciated my wisdom. But I only kept it for, the one-on-ones. So the bigger group, I don't think anyone really understood who I was or what I was. And it wasn't after, growing up, I met this guy, and I remember that was really low for me, because we were dating, we were going out for about three years, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I don't think this is it. It's not it. There's something that is missing. But then one day he proposed. And I remember that conversation of saying, this is how low, small belief I had in myself and life. And I was thinking, I was 23, didn't really have any serious boyfriends beforehand. And I was kind of having that horrible conversation with myself saying, well, no one really loved me before. What are the chances of someone loving me after? So this must be the best that it's ever going to be. Wow. And I remember saying yes. And I don't regret it, because I really do believe that we are the sum of everything that we've ever done. But that was definitely an interesting journey that followed afterwards.
Wow. So the self-esteem was just holding you back from being in a place where you truly loved yourself so much that you wanted to move forward. You thought, this is it. I love this guy, but I know he's not the one. But your self-esteem was really holding you back. Would that be right?
Yeah, I just didn't see how this was going to work out, if no one loved me before. It was really that idea, because I think the need for love was always a very big driver. And I was kind of, if no one loved me before, then it must mean that I really am unlovable. And so let me just stick with this thing, because this is what I've got and it's familiar, and, it will work out. And so that was that was the journey. And we were married for 7 years. 7 years, there was some good times. There were definitely some very low times. And then after some time, after the 7 years, I said, right, it's not working out. We really need to stop this pursuit, because definitely he was wanting other things, and we were not on the same page anymore. And then I'll share with you what happened there.
So you grew apart. Where did you go from there?
Yeah. So when he went back to where we come from Israel, where I'm originally from, he went back to Israel, and I stayed here in the UK with really no family, some friends that I was still in touch with. But I recognized then that I didn't know who I was. I was like, you can ask me who we were and I would know, but who I was, I really didn't know. So I was asking who I was before, throughout the marriage, and also who I was beforehand, and I really didn't know. And so after he left, it was like I was really happy that he left. It was a weight off my shoulder. I didn't want to be with him anymore. But now I needed to start figuring out all these things that I needed to figure out, before we got married. And I remember I was looking for a therapist. I thought, okay, there's got to be someone out there that can help in some way. And I found this therapist on the days before internet, right? I had to find it in the yellow pages.
I remember them days.
I remember coming there. He met me at the church hall, and it was a huge building. Everything was it was empty apart from these two chairs at the very back of the room. And as I got near him, I realized how drunk he was. He was actually off his face. And I was like, well, but I've made the effort to come here, so let's have this conversation. So I told him my story, and then he actually said the sentence that really changed everything for me. He just basically said, my dear, you are lacking the powers of your own convictions. And I was like, it exploded my mind. I was like, oh my God, it was so accurate. It was exactly describing how I was feeling all these years. And I took it away with me, and I was asking myself, what is it? How come there's so many sides of me, but I'm allowing the fear to be the driver. And I was really having a really hard look at how I was living my life. And then I created this formula, which basically went something like, do you want to do it? Yes. Does it scare you? Yes. Is it going to kill you? Well, if yes, then I didn't do it. If I knew that it wasn't going to kill me, then I just went for it. And this was so interesting, because what followed was really a transformation on scales I could never imagine. Really, everything I ever wanted to do, all of a sudden I gave myself permission to just go ahead and do it. So the first thing I done was going on a diving course. I always wanted to dive. I was terrified of diving. I thought I was just going to, sink or float or whatever. But I did the diving course, and I did the advanced. It just opened up all of this, completely allowing me to see that the fear was holding me back. But all I needed to do was just to take the first step, and then everything was falling into place, and opportunities and ideas came up. So, the thing that really made a really big difference, again, following this formula, was I raised money for arthritis research campaign, and then went on, in the UK, we call it the challenge of a lifetime. So that basically, having raised the money, we would go with the charity to climb the foothills of the Himalayas. And that was really mind-blowing. It was everything. It was, here I was by myself, with a group of incredible people, but by myself, because I made the decision to do it. And I didn't I wasn't waiting for anyone's approvals or anything like that. So I was there, and I was in flow, in allowing, in curiosity. And it was so incredible. And then when we were there, we went to visit a school, and they said they needed teachers, but they said we needed to have qualifications. We couldn't just come and teach. So I went back to the UK. I did a teaching English as a foreign language course. It was a year-long course. By that time, the Maoists took over, and I was worried that might kill me in Nepal. So Instead of Nepal, I went to Mongolia and I taught English, taught English for a year. Then I went traveling, came back to do my master's. It's all of these things. I've always wanted to travel. Never dared. I always wanted to study, and I always had this idea that I would be a very bad student, or, who can be a bad student? What is a bad student even? But I just allow things to be. So many incredible experiences and exploration and stuff, adventures that I allowed myself to go on. And what then happened was so interesting, because every time I had a conversation with someone, I realized that I was the brave one. I was the one that went out there and did all of these things. And these other people, they only wished and they were dreaming about doing it, but no one actually done anything. And that was so important to my self-esteem and my confidence, because it showed me that you're not confident by sitting at home and wishing. You're really confident by overcoming things that you never knew that you could. So all of this journey was, it was incredible. I'm very grateful for that drunken therapist and the way that he changed my life.
Isn't it amazing that in the most peculiar circumstances, a light bulb just goes off? So when that drunken therapist, landed those words on you, just the emotions or the mindset shift that you would have actually felt, and just opened up those doors to allow all these wonderful experiences to open up for you, the Himalayas and, teaching and things like that. It's so funny because I heard Les Brown once say that the graveyard is the most expensive piece of real estate because that's where our dreams go to die. And I thought, wow, that is so true. And I loved how you touched on the fact that you're talking to all these people, and they're the wouldas and the couldas and the shouldas, I call them. I would have, I could have, I should have, and it's the person who takes the action, who, takes that first step, that doesn't necessarily have to see the whole staircase. They just have to take the first step, right? And you did that. You felt the fear, you done it anyway, and this whole new world opened up for you. How wonderful. What are you doing with that kind of information and this transformation now?
Yeah, well, so first of all, this is still definitely a guide in my life. Anything that I do have that conversation still. Do I want to do it? Does it scare me? And how to go around that. So that's definitely in my personal life. A couple of years ago, at the beginning of 2020, I actually took my daughters to backpacking in India for 6 months. Ended up being the 3 months because of COVID, but it was that exactly the same conversation. Do I want to do it? Does it scare me? Yes. So we did it. But that also, of course, allowed me to work with my clients, because whenever someone is coming to talk to me about how they feel stuck and unfulfilled and insecure when not knowing how to move forward, I am very much able to see that actually, like I said, like you said at the introduction, it's really the negative voice that is holding people back. It's that fear of what will happen if I do this, if I do that, what will happen if I don't, because we are so, it's ingrained in us, the idea that we need to know all the details before we start going, then we can never go, because it's never going to be perfect. And by the time it's perfect, everything would have changed anyway. So it really has helped me to be able to be there for my clients, to help them be that voice on their journey that says, actually, you've got this. Just believe, just trust, it's okay. And it looks differently with every client, of course. And a lot of the time it's just helping people to reframe their fears, and also to help them see that what they think or believe that is not possible or wrong, or whatever the negative voice is telling them, it's just a lie. Because the negative voice is a liar. It just wants us to do today exactly what we did yesterday. Not because it's mean, but just because it believes that it's preserving us. So for preservation, it says, well, if you didn't do it yesterday, that means that today you can die if you tried. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you don't do it. And so the voice is so convincing that we actually listen to it and say, well, thank you for saving me from, terrible, something, mistake, death, whatever. but it's not true. The negative voice doesn't know that we're going to fail. So
oh, that is just so powerful. If you are listening to this, please connect. We will show where to connect with Einav as well, because you're also written 5 with 1 co-authored book. And the name of the book is The Power of Reinvention. And you've got 4 ebooks series titled Invest in Your Team's Confidence and Empowerment. So you're drawing from your own experiences. You're pulling that book off the shelf and opening it up and remembering where you were, and you're transferring all those skills and resources and life experiences from being so well traveled to help other people and empower them to find their confidence in their own way, because there's no cookie cutter, is there?
No, there really isn't, because a lot of the time, well, all of the time, really, we're all unique. We have a unique journey, but also we have so much, our own conditioning that is really holding us back, because we're so scared to move forward and be who we meant to be. It's an incredible thing to realize that we do things not because we chose to do them, but because of our conditionings and how we started out in life. And when we realize that, and we give ourselves the permission to follow our own heart and what actually resonate with us truly, it's very profound moment.
Oh, I love that. And I was, it just reminded me when you were speaking then, the aim of it is not to wake up with $1 gazillion in the bank, although that would be nice as well. It's just to wake up happy, isn't it?
Indeed, exactly. And it's that thing, there's a quote that says something like, you don't get up tired every morning because, you couldn't sleep or something. It's because you know that there is another day that you're not doing what you're meant to be doing. And so you are exhausted. And actually, the moment that you do find your purpose, your meaning, you have endless energy. That is the day that from now on, you're just going to jump out of bed, because you will know. And it's not to say that once you find your fulfillment or meaning in life, it means that there's no problems and everything is just, hunky-dory and everything is smooth. But it does mean that you have that push, you have that energy of knowing what it is that you're meant to do. So, and I encourage everyone to have that conversation with themselves. I think it was Steve Jobs that said that, he looks at himself in the mirror every day and asks himself, do I want to go and do the job that I'm about to do? And if too many days in a row he says no, then he knows that he needs to change the job. And, there's people that say, say a different day, same shit, different day, right? There's lots of people that say that. You don't have to. This was what I was doing when I was growing up, right? I didn't believe that there was another choice, another opportunity, that I didn't believe that things could be different. But really, all we need to do is to be aware that we are in this prison that we created for ourselves. And as soon as you know that you are in prison, then you can start looking for the key, the way to come out. But you have to be able to ask the questions. And I encourage anyone and everyone to ask that question. Even if you believe that you have a good life, it still means that it still could be that you have a nice life, but you are still in your comfort zone. So when was the last time you've done something that scared you, something that you didn't have all the answers before you started? So these questions are really important.
Oh, they are so important. And what kind of message would you like to leave the audience on today?
I think that my message is really about people are so scared of getting up and doing something. And I really want to say, you were not born to sit on the sofa and think about things and worry about things. Just go out there and fly. Just try. Don't worry if you're going to fall. You might fall, but that will help you to find the better path for with which to fly. So be curious, dare, ask questions, do what you need to do. It's in there within you already. Just trust your gut.
Trust your gut. I love it, Avni. You are Einav, you are just such I can't even have the words, because I've got just so many light bulbs going off in my head at the moment with all these golden nuggets that you've just dropped. Please, I encourage you, connect. We're going to be sharing where to connect. You are so appreciated. You've got so much wealth and knowledge, and you are a world leader, a thought leader, a change maker. And you can find the Victim to Victory podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment for Einav. And thank you very much for being a valued guest. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.